Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you how to build a clock that will be displaying the date and day and the month along with it. So first we need to open Tinkercad where we can drag and drop or create our IoT circuits and then click on create where I've already created a clock with the date which represents our project. So I'll just open it. So as you can see, these are the circuits that have been already made. We can just select the components over here by selecting all components, or the components would just be set to basic. So if we select all components, we can drag and drop all the components that are required to build this circuit. That is, we required an Arduino Uno R3 LCD 16 into 2 and a potentiometer, 1 kilo ohms of resistors, and a 220 kilo ohm, 1 kilo ohm resistors again. So this, what it does is it displays a time along with the date, the month, and the seconds. This is the circuit connection. As you can see, it consists of an Arduino Uno R3 LCD display, and we can just drag and drop into the project area so we can do all these connections. Now after, let's talk about the connection. After we dragged and dropped our, that is our elements, that is Arduino Uno R3 and the LCD screen, we need to connect you know certain wires to run or show the date and time running. So we need to connect the power and ground of this Arduino Uno R3 to the LED's power, that is VCC, and ground so that it runs. And then we take the D2 register to, sorry, this this register select to D2 of Arduino D to Arduino's board D2, and then from D4 to D5, sorry, from DB4 to DB7, it would be connection to DB from all the way from 2 to 7. So all these connections or all the DB buttons will from the LCD screen will be connected to the Arduino Uno board or the Arduino Uno setup here. And then we take the 220 ohm resistors, which is connected to the power of you know the Arduino Uno, Arduino Uno 3, and the ground of the this is the common ground it has, so it will be connected to a power and a ground. And we then, after the connections are done from DB2 to all the way to DB7 and the resistance, we take 3 push buttons. These are the push buttons. You can see on these push buttons are arranged in series manner, and then we take 1 kilo ohm of resistance, that is these resistors, and then we interconnect everything in a series way, not parallel, but it is connected in series, and every push button and every resistance are connected to a common point of power, and every push buttons and resistance ground is connected to a common point of ground. And then we connect the buttons, and button 3 to D8, that is this, and button 2 to button D9, and button 1 to D10. All these resistance are then connected to a ground common. These resistance are connected to ground common. This is the ground common we have connected to it. And then the button common point is also, the power common point is also connected to a VCC, that is a common VCC for all the resistors. So this makes up the connections, and there's also a potentiometer where it disconnects the flow of current to the LCD screen, which displays time and the date along with date and the month along with the seconds. And coming to the code, this is the code where the code includes the liquid crystal library, which provides functions to control the 16 into 2 LCD display. And several global variables are defined here to track parameters used in the program. And there's also 8 arrays that form each segment of the custom numbers. That is, these numbers byte, PR1, and so on. So there are 8 of this, and then we create the setup where it assigns each segment to a writer number, where we have created this byte all the way to 1 to 8. We can just void setup and assign each segment to write a number, and then we can and this is a custom this function. What this function does is it's a custom number display function, which are used to define and display each digit from 0 to 9 on the LCD using the custom characters defined earlier. These functions are used in the print number function to display the current time and date on the LCD. So all these are the custom number that can be used to print. Yeah, so we can use the custom number where it can print the time and date in the LCD. And then comes the loop function. Loop function is the button handling. The loop function checks the state of the buttons connected to pins 8, 9, and 10. So this is the 8, 9, and 10. So it checks the functions of these three buttons, and the button connected to 8 is used to switch the adjustment. So this is used to switch the adjustment between the modes, that is hours, minutes, and dates and months. And pin number 9 is used to go up and down the numbers, like from 1 to any range that has been set to it. And the pin number 10 is used for count as well, that is decreasing or increasing the count. So these are the loop functions and time and date adjustment for. And printing, at last we just you know print time and date, that is print function. The print number function is called to display the print number. This function is called to display the number and the date components using on the LCD using the custom characters. And the display and the delay update is set to used to introduce a short delay of 500 milliseconds between time updates and the blinking effects. So this is the code. So now let's just start the simulation. So now we'll start the simulation. So as we can see, the LCD board or the LCD screen lights up when we start the simulation. And this potentiometer can be used to stop the flow of the power, that is current, to the flow of LCD screen. And this displays the hour, minute, and this is the month, and this is the date. So if we press this button, it leaves on goes to the setup mode. Once if I click on the button, it just goes to a setup mode. As you can see, if I press this button, it just the hours just increase from 0 to 12, or based on the hours. That is, it is in 24-hour format. So let's just say the time is 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and once we press on this button, the button 3, just shift on to the minutes. As you can see, now we can just increase or decrease the minutes based on what the time is. So now is 6, let's just say it's 6:05, 6:06 or 6:05. So now this is with the date, sorry, the time. This is the hour and this is the minutes. And once again, if you click on the set button, this is button 3, we can just change the date. That is this 03. We can just increase or decrease the dates based on what the user wants or what the date is. So it goes on up to 1 to 31 or 1 to 30 based on the months. So in January it's 31 days, so it's 31 days. So let's just say it's 25th. And once if you click on set, but the set button, that is button 3 again, we can change the months, that is January through December. So it goes on till 9, that is September, and then changes to October. So it just can't display two digits here, so it just changes to O and N for November and December. So O is October, November is for N, and December is D. So we can just change the months using this. Now if we click on the set button again, it just sets the whatever the time and date the user has set, and it just registers that, and then the clock starts to run again. So there you go. This is the simulation of clock with the date using Arduino Uno R3 and the LCD 16 into 2 screen. So yeah, that's it. And thank you.